Hello, welcome to Ask Dr. Beth, America's teenologist. We are here to bridge the parent gap. And I am so honored to have Gabriella Van Rij here with me. She has been on tour, traveling the countryside, and we are going to master all of her nuggets and what she's been doing to dare to be kind. So you're going to get Dr. Beth's Compassionate Parenting with Dare to Be Kind. We're going to have it mixing up here and have a blast. Are you ready? Welcome to Ask Dr. Beth, America's teenologist. We are here to bridge the parent gap. And I am so excited to have Gabriella Van Rij, the activist, kindness activation for kindness.
Something like that.
Dare to be kind. Bring it, Gabriella. What are you about?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your show, and being in California is awesome again.
Yes.
And Dare to be kind. First of all, what is it and why? I started this because I really felt that we as a society have dropped the ball on human kindness. And I also feel that we have to bring it from city to city, from person to person. And the only way to do that, unfortunately, is hop in your car and start driving. And literally speak to communities, speaking at schools, speaking in colleges, speaking in offices, companies, everywhere.
So what are you telling everybody? Be kind.
Be kind. But if it was so easy, then we would do it. But it's not easy.
Okay.
It's not easy at all. So first of all, I've been out there for 5 years doing this, but now I'm only doing specifically kindness.
Okay.
So the campaign will be ongoing for the whole year, but at the moment I have the first 4 months kind of out there already on my website. Every month we'll have a different theme. So this month is October.
Bully.
October is National Bullying Prevention Month. Very important. We get drowned out a little bit by breast cancer, but it's really important. It's an epidemic.
Yes.
It's truly an epidemic. And I think people forget the devastating effects this can have on our future generation. And who better to know that than you? Right.
Well, we are definitely two peas in a pod on this one.
Yeah.
We are both looking at it. You're doing it primarily with the kids and working in the assemblies and working with the children. Is that where your primary focus? And my primary focus is with the parents.
My focus is everyone, but my focus at the moment, because it's bullying month, is educators, parents, and children. So I do all three each time when I'm on the road. But educators is really important too, because they're the first responders really to all the problems, because they see it.
Yes.
In school. So that's really important. The second is, if we don't help the parents, then they cannot continue being a role model of what I am telling them during a school assembly. So I actually need all of them. I need every single one to be passionate about their own children, to be passionate about this future generation, and to really, how would I say this? We need to form a coalition together. And so I have a slogan that I love. Blame is not the cure, action is. So I say to people, be part of the action. Blame is not the cure, action is.
So blaming each other, blaming ourselves, blaming
anyone,
anything, get the blame game out of here.
Whether we blame the TV station, whether we blame the media, look at what's happening. I mean, watching your delivery is literally everywhere. It's rampant. Nobody is watching their delivery. Whether you look at Britain that just stepped out of the EU, whether you look at ISIS, whether you look at bullying in schools, whether you look at suicides, whether you look at the police problems, all these problems is blame.
Yes.
We blame someone.
Absolutely.
Because it is easy to do, and then we think we should do nothing.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. Doesn't work at all.
So what kind of action?
First action I think that we all need to take is, first of all, our silence is definitely complicity. So that's one.
Okay.
So, but how to turn that around?
So to do nothing is to be in agreement.
To do nothing is to be totally in agreement with whatever is happening, whether it's, again, war, whether it's peace, whether it's breast cancer, whether it's drunk driving, whether it's the police, whatever we want to see in this world happening, we're going to have to fight for it.
So I hear you. I get it. And how do you deliver the message so that you're not bringing more pain and criticism and inventory taking or blaming
I
to
never
someone
do
else?
that.
So give us,
my
how do we do it?
assemblies are divided into different assemblies, of course, and different talks. But when I come to a school, first thing I say is, let's pick up kindness. And how do we do that? So the first step is to become an active witness. How do you become an active witness? It's to uplift the person next to you. Now, how do we do that?
Yes.
We can do it without words. So the kids say, how do you do that? I don't get that. And I said, it's really easy. That person that you always see in the cafeteria sitting alone, if you're in an office, there's a person sitting alone every day. Or just look in your environment. Parents, think of that person that, you drive into a parking lot. You're at Starbucks and you get the coffee, and every single day, you actually have no idea who that same person is that you see daily. You don't know that person.
So getting connection.
That person is invisible. Mm-hmm. It's not just connection. I really believe that if you don't see people and if you live life in automatic pilot, there is no way you can be kind. So set aside your fear for that one moment.
Yes.
Be that person that sees the other person is the second part. And then be kind. Be kind by just saying, hey, what's your name? I see you every day and you make my coffee latte and I love it. And in school it's a little bit more difficult in school. So in schools I say, just sit with that student. And that student might sit like this. But under the hair and there's a very happy little heart going, oh my God, did someone sit with me?
Someone
Right?
see me. Someone seen one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the most horrible thing is three things.
What's that?
To go unnoticed, unwanted, and unloved in life. Those are three things that surpasses everything. Ethnicity, religion, and gender, and
Yes.
culture.
So Gabriella, your message is what we can do for others.
First of all, what can we do for others to uplift them? Because
Yes.
once we do that, we see the result of kindness. So it is so much easier to be kind to someone else than to be kind to us. That's the first step. The second step is to take ownership of who we are, because then we learn to be kind to ourselves too.
Aha.
So
So,
that's really important.
you think it starts with being kind with others,
Well-
then moves it back to self?
Yes, because I wish we were kind to ourselves. Mm-hmm. But I have learned in the last 5 years that if I start with that, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Whereas when I teach be kind to someone else, people kind of go, that I can do. I can pick up the ball. I can be courageous and help someone else. So we have the innate kindness inside of us. We have an incredible strength to help another human being.
Yes.
And by doing that, we don't even know what's happening. But that person that we've helped, one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, it doesn't matter. It will remember. And it will suddenly turn around and do that for someone else because it remembers what you did. It might not know your name, but it always remembers. I believe that kindness is seldom refused. So to start that way, it will only grow more kindness. And the rest kind of falls in place. It sounds simplistic, but it's so hard to do.
So give me a couple of wins. You've been on the road, you've been a road warrior, you're going to assemblies. Give
Okay.
me a concrete example where you saw a child light up or saw a difference made in someone's heart.
When the child gets it, when the child really gets it, you see it. You see the light bulb, and I say to the child, the instigator, I don't like the word bully, the instigator and the victim are mirror images of each other, and the other person has as much fear as you do.
Right.
And when that light bulb in an analogy and an exercise gets understood, that child just says, oh my God.
So
They are.
they feel gotten, they feel
They
understood.
feel no, they actually got the tool.
Right.
Because fear is such an enormous motivator to stay paralyzed. But when they get it, that they're not the only ones in fear, but that the other one acts out differently, and that there is the same,
Parallel process.
yes, going on. There was too many L's for me to do that one. So that when I see that child light up, that's one of my biggest. But there's another one.
Well, hang on. Before you move forward, I've got a highlight of this.
Okay.
So I'm doing a parenting group.
Okay.
And a parent is talking about another child bullying her child.
Yes.
And she goes on to describe the situation as she's telling about the child. And then a second parent in the same parent group starts to talk about her child and how the bully is bullying her child. Guess what? They were each other's bully.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I had the two parents who had heard all of these stories that their parents had, that the child had told on the other child being the bully. And it is absolutely, we all are feeling the victim. It is the mirror that's going on there.
But it's the instigator decides, there are different ways, but what I explain to children is, if, first of all, it's very interesting, and I'm sure you can add more to it than I on this point, but we are taught to be reactive human beings. We are not taught to look at what's happening and then discern and then take a deep breath and say yes or no.
Self-reflect.
No, we go bam into it. So the child learns that too, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Defense mechanism.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, super. So when the child only learns that, you can only do that. So I always say to the children, we're all instigators, and then they go, you're a bully too? And I said, well, I don't like the word bully. I like the word instigator. I'm the instigator of kindness, but there are days that I'm grumpy. I didn't sleep. So at that moment, what happens?
Yes.
You turn into the instigator on the negative scale.
So are you lifting someone up with your actions and your words and your kindness, or are you bringing
them
their
down?
energy down?
But if you bring them down, it is because you are in a very, very bad space.
Yes, and I'll tell you something else.
Okay.
This was another exercise that I did in a high school, where I just had people think a thought. So there was a guy, and he held his arm out.
Oh yeah.
And I would hold one finger up, they would think negative thoughts. I'd hold two fingers up, they'd think positive thoughts. And I could almost do a pull-up on this gentleman's arm when they were sending him the positive thoughts. And when they were sending him the negative thoughts, his arm would just collapse. And he was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was not putting any more value or effort. So energetically, we can impact others.
Of course.
Our words can impact others.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to come back in just a few minutes.
Okay.
And we will talk more about this conversation.
Super.
I am so grateful that this conversation is happening. And I'm inviting all of us to pick up the ball, dare to be kind. And as Gabriella focuses on bringing that kindness outside, I'm going to talk a little bit about how do we dare to be kind to ourselves, because most people have no clue what that even looks like. And I have a process that's called the 10 keys to compassionate living or compassionate parenting. And we'll be talking more about these keys on the show. And you can also get information about that on my website through my book, Embracing Defiance, helping your child express their unique voice while keeping your sanity. And it is about daring to be kind from within. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Ask Dr. Beth, America's teenologist. We are here to bridge the parent gap. And again, I am so honored to have Gabriella Van Rij. She is an activist for daring to be kind. And throw me that ball. I love balls. Let me see if I can do this.
Oh, you're so much better at it than I am.
I'm so jealous that she has her own ball. And what this is about is picking up the ball.
Yep, just like you're doing.
I am picking up the ball. I am helping you bring this to the world.
Yep.
And this is just the beginning. Even though you've been doing this for 5 years, we are on a roll. Pa-dum-pum.
But we're really on a roll because 5 years ago, nobody used the word kindness.
Yes.
And look at it today.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter who does it as long as we're doing it.
All right. So may I play devil's advocate with you?
Go for it.
You and I, we love to dish, right?
Yeah.
So I am all up on what you're saying. Yes, 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 yes. And I get that people are better at giving than receiving.
Mm-hmm. But you need to do both.
And one of the things that I find is when I'm not filled up,
you can't give.
when I feel like crap, when I feel horrible about myself, when I am in a funkity-funk mood, those are the moments I don't even really want to be kind. When I call it hangry bear or hungry bear, halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. I don't feel like I've got what I'm going on. I had a coach tell me one time, Dr. Beth, go, I think I was just Beth at the time. She said, go fill yourself up, because I felt like I have a mission. You and I have a similar passion for the world. I've got to get out there. I need to make a difference. I need to bring compassion. I need to bridge the gap. I want to help kids better understand their parents and parents better understand their kids. And this coach said to me, Beth, you need to fill yourself up first.
Before you can give?
Before you start spewing this fix, this franticness out into the world. So I know you also agree with that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's perfect that you start on that end and I start on this end. Not that you disagree with me or I disagree with you. We are singing to the choir, and I think it's absolutely essential that the kids have some concrete tools on what does it even mean to be kind.
But don't you feel with the clients that you see and those parents that you talk to on a daily basis, don't you feel that it's generational too, not to be kind to ourselves? Because I feel that my upbringing and my religion told me to be a good girl and
Yes.
to give.
Give.
I've
given my life
So
to
that's why I'm
you.
asking, because when you have a parent, let's say, I presume most of the parents are above 35. So they are still in, compared to the young ones today, taught to be kind to others, to be good, to be so
Given to others.
Yeah.
And,
So isn't that standing in the way?
well,
Do you feel?
I think I actually have another couple of TV
Okay.
shows on this topic.
Okay,
I
super.
had a millennial that was here, and part of the message that the boomers think about the millennials is that they're narcissistic, they take care of themselves at all costs, they are not looking out for others.
I've heard that too.
You've heard that? Now, my take is actually they are further along than we are. Why would I say that?
Yeah, no, I know where you're saying it, but go for it. I'm waiting.
Okay, so if I'm giving and giving and giving and giving and I'm not putting my own oxygen mask on, then you're going to have to take care of me. If I am all about you, then I can't feed myself. There's a joke or a great picture where people have these long spoons, and and there's a difference between heaven and hell, and the long spoons are trying to feed themselves with these long spoons. It's impossible, and so they feed each other.
Never seen that.
You haven't seen it?
No.
So in hell, what everybody's doing is they're trying to feed themselves with the long spoon, and there's no way to get it in their mouth. Which would be right in line with, you would need this. This would be a great vision for your website. By the way, how do people contact you to be a part of this mission?
Gabriella.global is my website, but the easiest just is hashtag dare to be kind.
Okay.
But back on that spoon thing, though, for a second, you know, I kind of feel, I live my life like that. For me, my cup is always full, even if there's a drop. So I must have found a way throughout the years to be really kind to myself.
Exactly.
I did find a way.
Exactly.
But there's also people that do fill up their cup, but then don't know how to give back. And I think the balance is what we miss. We think we have to protect self. And I am teaching that it's both. It has to be a balance with what we bring back out, yes?
Yes, 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 and yes. And my belief is, and my experience, is the biggest bully on the playground, or the biggest instigator on the playground, is the child that's in the most pain.
Yeah. So you like my quote then, nobody strikes coming from a positive place. Nobody.
Correct. And nobody strikes from a place of
No.
fullness.
No, never.
So when a child is, quote, being mean or hurtful or has nothing to give, that child is also depleted. So for those of us that are feeling, oh gosh, like we're looking for something to do, looking for some way to show up,
okay.
looking for some way to help, my advice would be to start here
Yep,
first.
always.
And I think you do that more than you realize.
I do it all the time, but on stage you only have 1 hour.
Yes.
1 hour where I need to get 4 steps in. With the adults, it's 4 different steps. And so I have seen over the years that the slogan of the ball, which is the one moment, one person, one kindness, to be the difference. And then to dissect what that is, we finally came to kindness.
Yes.
Do you see?
Yes.
But in there is a step that we don't have time really to discuss, which is dare to step into you.
Yes.
And I teach that when I talk, even at school. So that's my 3rd step. So that's the be kind to you. But it's impossible for a child to be kind to themselves. And I'm going to ask you why, because the child believes that it's not good enough. The child believes that everything someone said is true.
Because the parent believes they're not good enough. And when I talk with and work with the parents, I say, are you willing to be wrong that you're a bad mom? Are you willing to be wrong about that? Because if you're willing to be wrong about that, your child gets to win. If you're a bad mom, you have a bad kid. If you're a great mom, you're a great kid. It's hard to say, I'm a wonderful parent with a child that is not in their power and not loving life. So if you're telling yourself, I'm not okay for who I am and what I am and how I've shown up, then the message that the child integrates is that they're too much, they're not doing it right, they're not okay, and then they internalize the blame. And so the saga continues, the intergenerational pattern. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? How do we stop
Chicken,
this?
I think.
It's
Not
gotta,
sure.
It's got to be the egg. Just because,
gotta be the egg.
Just because you said chicken, I'm going to go for the egg, and
Well,
then what, between the two of us, we'll
It's
get one
actually
of them.
the egg first. And
Yeah, exactly.
let's not go there.
Right. So I think it's absolutely essential. Yes, and all of it. And as soon as we try to draw a line of I'm right, you're wrong, or you're right, I'm wrong, we miss the whole point.
That's what I say. Being right comes with such a terrible price.
Yes.
That I say this in schools. The price for the parent to be right, or the price for the child to be right, or even the educator, the price is that we lose lives.
Yes.
It's really the price we're paying in
And
this society.
and I say, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Do you want to be right or do you want to be in relationship? Do you want to be right or do you want to be connected with your child? Because you can take that right all the way to wherever.
Okay.
So we're on the same page with that
absolutely.
as well. And there's one other aspect that I think that I really bring into my work, which is the inner child. And what most people talk about the inner child is what I call the inner 3-year-old. The little vulnerable, raw, emotional, young part of ourselves.
Okay.
And there's another character that I have created that comes along, or I've coined, that comes along that I call the inner 7-year-old. And this is like the inner perfectionist, the workaholic, the legalistic,
You saw me
moralistic.
smile, okay? I smiled.
Are you resembling that one a little bit?
I have all of them. but
Okay,
That
okay.
one is definitely present.
Well, and I would say that 85 to 90% of the functioning world, and you are definitely a super functioning person, has mastered the inner 7-year-old. There's another character that comes along to save us from the 7-year-old. So the 7-year-old comes along to save the 3-year-old. The teenager, the inner teenager, comes in to save us from the 7-year-old.
And where's the grandma in all of this?
That's the
Where's
divine.
the older one?
That's the divine wise self.
Okay, good.
But what happens most of the time is the parentified adult, or the super 7-year-old, is pretending to be the adult. And the way you know if it's a parentified adult or a super 7-year-old versus the divine wise self is if it's kind and compassionate. So if it comes across bitey, if it comes across opinionated, if it comes across with an edge, if it comes across taking your inventory, if it comes across with a sting, that's the little super 7-year-old. The divine wise self holds all of this at once. Holds the 3-year-old and lets her know that she gets to be safe. Holds the 7-year-old and helps her understand how to win. Like, how do we win in this game? Because as soon as we try to attack someone else or address the issues, we are now having a war on fill in the blank. And then that takes us out of kindness. So I think the inner teen, whatever, talk to the paw. Let's not be so significant. Let's not be so serious. Let's get some playfulness, which is, again, why I love your ball.
But the whatever, I think there's another thing going on with our society.
Okay.
And I'm saying this more on a global world stage, this part, is we are truly desensitized. And so
To
everything. A lot of people really don't care. And so the desensitization, I can't say that word,
sensitization.
Thank you.
Maybe.
Too many S's. Someday.
Yes.
That is a problem too that we don't address enough.
So
about
thank
what's
goodness you are out there on the world stage. Thank you so much, Gabriella Van Rij, for going. She is one of the hardest working super 7-year-old, coolest inner teenagers, and has a precious little baby inner 3-year-old that I just absolutely love and adore. If you would like to get more information, dare to be kind, hashtag, find Gabriella Van Rij. If you want to have more information about how to get there from the parent, 10 Keys to Compassionate Parenting, DrBeth.com. You can download my book at no charge, Embracing Defiance, helping your child express their unique voice. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Thank you to Gabriella Van Rij. What a superhero. She is a road warrior, daring to be kind. Find her at hashtag Dare to Be Kind. And if you would like to learn more about Dr. Beth, you can go to drbeth.com and download my book, Embracing Defiance, helping your child express their unique voice while keeping your sanity. And you can download my book at no charge. Find out about the inner 3-year-old, the inner 7-year-old, and the inner teen. Thank you so much for joining us.